Okay. Oy vey.
Oy vey.
Oy vey. Oy vey.
Totes my goats.
Feels pretty good.
Heck yeah, I
Maybe
would
a little
agree.
bit. Yeah. Maybe a little bit loud, but not too bad.
Nice.
Wow, it feels very foreign to be up here.
Yeah, I mean, been out in the greenhouse for the past, 3 months straight?
Yeah, I feel like a feral animal.
Yeah, right. Constantly just dirty and grimy, covered in akadama dust,
Dude, I've
muck on the hands.
I've had dirt under my fingernails for 4 months. Irene's literally like, yes. Is repotting season almost over? I'm like, I hope so.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
hope
right.
so.
this is the roughest my hands get all year, this stretch right
Dude,
here.
this is the roughest everything gets all year. I just have to say, like, it is an intense amount of work. It's totally rewarding. Like, it's awesome, but boy, when it gets to you know what the worst is when it gets to crunch time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
it's-
weather snafus and everything else that it brings.
Dude, things are growing in the garden so fast right now that it's like, no, I haven't finished repotting though. Please stop.
Yeah,
Everything
right.
just stop.
Time out.
Yeah. No.
Can we add more hours?
I need a break, coach. Sub.
Yeah, the challenges of living in the Pacific Northwest doing bonsai. We've had a really nice past week and a half here, and now we're heading into a week of straight rain.
Oh my God. It does this every year.
Mhm.
Every
Right.
year. And you know what? It makes me resentful. It makes me horribly resentful because it's like you're going to get up to almost 80 degrees for like a straight week, and then you're going to drop down into 40s and solid rain.
Clouds. And
The
dark
it's the worst. It's like, what are you doing? No. This isn't what we signed up for.
Yeah, right. About to bust the short sign. It's like, not yet, actually.
This isn't what anybody signed up for. It's crazy. It's terrible.
It's crazy
Right?
indeed. And like you said that this is pretty abnormal though for junipers to be growing at the end of March and coming into April to already be seeing fleshy tips on the
I've never seen it before.
Never?
I've never seen anything like this before. No.
Mhm.
It's
'Cause
not
when does that normally start on junipers here?
May.
May? Oh wow. Yeah.
May.
So we've really got the crunch time put on us even faster this year.
Hardcore, man.
Yeah.
Hardcore. We would be experiencing what we're experiencing now the last week of April or the first week of May.
Mm-hmm.
But we're experiencing it the first week of April. This is supposed to be like, we should still have a month of repotting. We are out of time.
Well,
Yeah, right.
Last year, I think me and you went into the middle of June.
I don't know if we went that far.
First week of June, maybe. Yeah.
I don't even know if we went that. I feel like you're remembering things incorrectly. Could be. I don't know that I've ever repotted a tree in June.
Okay.
I definitely think there were some repots in May for sure, but June, I don't know, Brandon.
Okay.
All right, trying to get those last few in, but it's been a good one this year. We made some wild compositions.
Yeah. It's been pretty big time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I saw Todd Schlafer on his Instagram said this has been like just such a incredible repotting season for him at First Branch, and I do kind of feel like repotting season gives you that positive psych to start the year, and then spring is such a generous siren, you know. She like calls you in, and everything looks healthy at first, and you're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Now, if you're an educated bonsai practitioner, you know you're just being fooled by the glitter and glamour of spring. Because anything that you do not fix or any missteps that you're making right now are soon going to unveil themselves in the most gut-wrenching way.
Oh, yeah.
It's a part of it.
Right.
I remember every spring in Japan, I always was like, man, things look really good this year. And Mr. Kimura would be like, now. They look good now. Just wait. And it just really stomped on my spirit.
Yeah, he was right. Every summer you would see some color change or
Oh, it doesn't take
something.
till summer.
No.
Summer. No, we'll get all these trees that are starting to grow.
Mhm.
It'll happen. It'll come. Always
Right.
does.
Yeah,
Always
slows it
does.
down.
Yeah, always does.
Noted. I'll brace myself.
Yeah, it's part of it, especially with this many trees and this many stages of development with this many moving parts. It's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you're bound to find some to find some unfortunate things. It just is. I don't know anybody that's been able to get ahead of that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had a favorite composition we've put together this spring so far? Or what are some of the repots so far that have been like, man, that was kick ass?
Yeah, standout repots. I mean, I think it's been pretty fun to take. I think this year we've focused a lot more on established trees
Yeah.
and really like refining the repots and stuff, and it's been pretty cool to see some of the Rocky Mountain junipers that have like really fine root systems and really good dense fine network of roots, and you see it in the canopy and you see it in the roots. It's like I've really found a lot of pleasure in that. I don't get me wrong, I love radical compositions and stuff, and I think the Backcountry Boys juniper up on the big tall stone that we did in class that Gus and RC worked on
Yeah.
is pretty epic.
Yeah, it's been really cool though, seeing how these root systems are fine, and over time where there's like no more field soil left in them, and it's like completely scaled down, and it's been really eye opening to me to see even how to handle like really mature and refined root systems to make sure you're getting any of those broken down areas through, and like you've said, is like that breaking through has been really eye-opening to me, where it's like, before it's like, okay, get the edges, get the bottom, call it good, but it's like, no, you gotta, anything that's like really too dense for a root to grow, and you gotta break that down and get to that friable soil's been super informative.
I think that's the key to refined repots. I really do think that people do not go far enough. Like, you have to go as far as the tree needs you to go. But like when I was in college and importation was still legal for the first 2 years of college, you would see this like plethora of Miyajima white pine coming into the United States in the mid to late 90s, right? And they would come in, and at that time they didn't have to bare root them, and so they would be in some degree of Akadama, Kiryu, and Hyuga soil mix, or if they were coming from Shikoku, they might be Akadama and DG or something like that. And they would have this really refined root system, and then they would get here, and people here we just didn't have the knowledge yet, right? So like big old chunky particle sizes, like like half inch to quarter inch, or a half inch to like 3/4 inch golf ball size Akadama and weird shit, broken terracotta pots, and then everybody would be like, yeah, man, they come in and that you just got to get that soil off of them. It goes bad. And it was always so interesting to me, because I was like, how does it work in Japan and they're doing so well and they achieve this level of health and refinement, and then they send them over here and that whole thing turns to shit. But when you don't go far enough in a root system and it gets compacted, and you will watch that go black over 2 or 3 repottings to where there's no roots in the center of that tree anymore. And now you're doing a rehab on that tree if you don't go far enough. And I started realizing, wow, so people didn't have the right soil size, didn't have the right soil composition to like merge the Japanese soil with what we had here and what we were doing here, didn't know how far to go in terms of the root mass and how to handle that correctly. There were just so many missteps, in the process of learning. And even here at Mirai, like doing some of the repots again because of whatever, right? Organic accumulation or soil breakdown from, a bad shipment of Akadama or whatever the reason that we're doing some of these repots. It's like I'm going back in and still advancing my skills of repotting and breaking up things that I wouldn't have broken up.
Right.
And like learning, but also seeing each time. I think the domestication process for a Yamadori tree to get to a refined bonsai is a narrative arc that takes a lot of time and experience and failure to understand. Seeing some of the better junipers getting to a point of like No more field soil, or at least very limited amounts of field soil, because no matter how hard you try, there's always a little pocket of field soil. It's like going to the beach and getting all the sand out of your car. Like you're going to find sand 6 months to a year later, right? Like the beach never leaves your car.
Yeah.
Field soil never fully leaves the root system of a Rocky Mountain juniper. Like it just, it is tough.
Yeah.
But like you see these root systems transitioned over, and you see the kind of root growth that we're getting now and stuff, and it's like, oh, this is pretty darn exciting. This is exciting to me, anyways. The fish that you pulled out yesterday, like that was a really an outstanding root system.
Yeah, for real. Great roots all over the bottom. The soil's scaled. There's fine roots everywhere.
Yeah,
that one's super exciting.
Yeah. So I really, this year, obviously I really enjoyed redoing the pygmy cypress forest and a lot of the rock plantings that have been neglected and maybe been on rocks too long and stuff, and like going whole hog into those. I mean, we invented basically a new way to handle rock planting and repotting this year.
Yeah.
With the pygmy cypress forest, because like I was fully convinced we were going to have to lift that whole stone and those trees off, and I was not quite sure how we were going to get that back into a pot. And then it was like, wait a minute, I've got like this stone and this disc of roots here in the pot. I can just pick the disc of roots up. And that's essentially what we did.
Right.
We took off the matted bottom, top, sides.
Monty, hey. Come here.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the Scots on rock was pretty impressive. That's one of the bigger trees I've seen on a rock that big. There's a lot of favorites. They're all impressive. I was mostly blown away by the boxwoods. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Shanty Bithy, wow.
Oh yeah,
Ryan Neal making that happen. Wow.
I
mean, to me, that was just like insane. I think there's 27 of them you counted, and we did every single one of them.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? I think we realized in the fall when they all got here that we were going to have to repot them all, and that was a little bit daunting. That actually, it didn't suck. Look, there's like an enthusiasm when you acquire new trees. This happens when you collect trees too. You're on the mountain and you find a good tree and you collect it, or you collect 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, whatever you're going to do, and then you bring it home, and the labor. It's like, I have this tree, but you have to do something with it. You have to now cultivate it. You got to box it. You got to pot it. You got to take care of it. You got to move it and shift it and do the bonsai shuffle with it and blah, 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 blah. So the Shanty Bithy boxwoods filling up a 20-foot truck, getting them back here and having them basically occupy the entire walkway outside of the workshop, looking at all of them, and the fact that they were in 50 and 60-gallon nursery containers that weighed 300 plus pounds, maybe more. I don't know. Those could have been 400 or 500 pound trees. They were so heavy.
There was a lot of clay.
That was so much clay. I think this might take the cake for the most soil ever produced from a repotting season because of those Shanty Bithy boxes. Because we took them down from a 60-gallon nursery container into a bonsai pot.
Yeah, right.
Essentially drove more soil out west than trees.
Totally more soil than trees. But man, what a gift, huh?
Yeah,
Jerome and Durham and that whole Shanty Bithy crew planting those things all the way back in the day, and God,
not one of them was a dog. Like
not
the more
one.
We dug, the
not
more
one.
it just got amazing.
Not
the
one.
Bases just kept flaring.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was.
I haven't seen anything. I've never experienced anything like that. Just
sweet.
Tree after tree after tree after tree.
And
yeah.
What a wealth of experience and knowledge. I mean, that some of the students and me and Brock, and I think yourself, experienced
absolutely.
digging into them. I mean, I'm pretty sure 90% of those trees we went down 3 to 5 inches.
Sure.
And exposed like incredible Nabari that it probably hadn't been seen ever.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I absolutely agree. It was nobody's ever seen that Nabari because it was below the surface of the field. Who knew?
Those things were even down there. They were all like just.
That's got to be rooted cutting Nabari, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's the only way they propagated the Kingsville was rooted cuttings. I don't know that for sure, but that's got to be rooted cutting Nabari, which I'll take it all day long. The Nabari's been I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, every one of
Right.
them was like Christmas.
Yeah, it was sweet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I did like the Scots pine up on that big rock.
Yeah, it was.
That was
sweet.
really something.
Yeah, that was a mind boggler. Normally, you would think, like, if you want the tree to seem bigger, you would put it in something smaller. But that came out of a tiny young Kulak slab and went onto this massive rock in a big round, and it somehow made the entire thing feel 3 times the size.
Yeah, that was a tree that sat on the bench that was forgettable, and now there's no way that you're gonna miss it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it defies gravity a little bit. I really get into that.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some student trees here that are really, really coming along very nicely. I mean, I could name a few, but I think all in all, just people have been putting in the work up here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of work, been a lot of good synergy. The classes were awesome. Students were awesome this year. I really, I like because we needed to find a pot for the Telperian black pine. That's been this constant quest.
Mm-hmm.
And the subalpine fir and the Sarah Rainers that were, very, very large. Get the Bob Moeller Hinoki off the slab and into a big, beautiful pot and got that thing all psyched out. Some of the deciduous repots have been pretty profound in terms of the Nabari expansion. That's been really satisfying for me to see. Just
Definitely.
like, oh man, this is pretty epic
Yeah.
to see the deciduous improving so much. Improving rapidly and radically.
Yeah, right.
Improving.
Yeah, exponential.
Yeah.
The deciduous garden is
Oof.
little poppin', as we'd say here.
Little puffy.
Yeah.
Little puffy.
I don't know if y'all are ready for it.
I just don't really know what we're going to do with them all. I mean, I know we need to dig out a big tree, move it a long ways with really no machine access to be able to then expand the footprint of the deciduous garden, which will still not be enough for the broadleaf trees that we have here.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
only give us space for 8 to 10 trees, and we need space for like 30.
Yep. I don't know what we're going to do about that. That's something that this is the whole thing about Mirai. It's like use the space you have until you absolutely have to build a new space. And then that turns into a whole nightmare, but like then it's justified. And I think we have justifiable reasons to be doing the work on the deciduous garden. It's got to be done. It's got to be
Right.
done. There's no other option.
And I think a lot of people just know Mirai for, coniferous, big monster, beautiful trees and stuff. But I'd say the deciduous garden has been shown a lot of love the past few years. And in the next handful of years, it's going to be truly something to see.
Oh
So,
yeah,
sure,
I
stoppers.
agree. I agree.
A lot of bangers. in
There's
there.
world class trees up there. The best part, here's what I think the best part about the deciduous garden is. It's not like the world class trees up there were hauled out of the far flung corners of the wild places in North America. There's some of those up there for sure. But a lot of those are nursery grown. A lot of those are nursery stock. And people always talk about limited access to good material, and I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. You put in the time, you put in the effort. I even think back to Brandon Myron's little Japanese maples that he was working on in class. Every one of those had a plated out root system. Those were rooted cuttings that he started with. If you put in the time and the work, this was why Mr. Kimura did not do deciduous trees, because he was very adamant that anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. And he's like, because of that, the value is not high. Because of that, and you can't make as rapid of a transformation in a broadleaf tree. It takes time. You have to work it into that.
Yeah.
Whereas I think he could bring about radical, increased aesthetic
improvements.
quality, and radical redesigns on conifers that could radically alter their value. That's harder to do on a broadleaf tree. But if you build a broadleaf tree from a humble piece of material into a world-class broadleaf tree, there may not be something more rewarding. I love a good redesign. I love a good initial styling on a Yamadori, juniper, or pine. There is something about the broadleaf genre of building it from the ground up that is pretty darn satisfying.
Yeah, especially when you get to like those like 4th and 5th and 6th years when it's like the first couple you're like slowly getting more ramification, and then it just gets to that exponential point.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is sweet.
Yep, you hit tipping point, and it's like, well, this is great. This is really great.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah, I would like to see. I would still like to see more varieties of broadleaf tree here. I almost went down the route of sassafras this year. I didn't pull the trigger. I'm still like contemplating sassafras because I found some really good nursery stock that's really interesting. Their bark is phenomenal. I had no knowledge of sassafras as a native North American tree. And I don't think either of you guys do either.
No.
Because I asked you guys both about it. It is a giant, monumental, in terms of scale, giant monumental species of broadleaf deciduous with incredible bark. I don't know if there's any negatives. I didn't see any negatives in the limited amount of research I was doing on my phone as I was sitting there looking at these pieces of material that had phenomenal bark at a very young age. And really radical movement in them. Erratic movement, radical movement. I really think sassafras might be one of these species, and they have 3 different leaf morphologies on the same tree. So the leaf takes on 3 different shapes inside of every tree. So you have these really interesting characteristics. Fall colors, spectacular. I'm talking it up, and I've never even used it. This is just what I read about it as I was looking at this material.
Yeah.
But I really feel like there's still just an absolute plethora, a cornucopia of trees. Who's ever seen a sassafras bonsai? I've never seen a sassafras bonsai.
Nope. I haven't.
Right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Is there something I don't know? Maybe. Anybody listening, if there's something I don't know, tell me. Send us an email. I want to know. But Rob Wallace, who is here with the Third Wheel Potters Collective with Eli and Preston, he's been posting on the forum QA just the most beautiful broadleaf material, whether it's advanced, whether it's in the middle, whether it's at the beginning. The material Rob is working with is second to none. And I know that he's sourcing some of this material from people who are collecting material and then growing it out in the field post-collection, which is something that I've proposed for a very long time. But seeing somebody do it, especially with American Hornbeam, where you get a good trunk, but you don't get... excuse me. You get a good trunk, but you don't necessarily get good primary branching, or you're going to have big scars, or there's going to be problems. And I think about the invasive nature of euonymus in the Northeast, and I think about the invasive nature of porcelainberry up there, and harvesting that stuff. Those are valuable bonsai species if you grow them on and you improve them in the field after their initial collection.
Right.
I still think liquid amber has never really been tapped into as a broadleaf species that has massive potential. Who's growing them in the field? Nobody.
Yeah, right. But they're so cool. I love them. They get great bark, and their leaf shape's beautiful. There was a couple at the museum that were just always great. Like some of my favorites, a couple of formal uprights with great taper. But yeah, other than that, you don't see many. There's the sweet clump we have here. But yeah, those are definitely.
There's a Talperian.
Oh yeah,
Talperian raft, or clump or whatever it is, Goodness gracious.
Yeah, but
I've been having these bouts. This has been going on for 5 weeks now.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Oh, dude, I cannot shake it.
Dang.
It has been through a quarter, if not a third, of the repotting season. This has just been obnoxious.
Right.
I almost died on the forum QA this morning.
Oh no.
Yeah. So he's trying to answer questions, trying to hold it together, trying to get through it. Dude, the last forum QA, everybody's like, "Holy shit, I'm glad you're still alive." And I actually didn't feel as bad. I feel worse now. But then somebody said, I wonder if it's allergies. And I just have never had an allergy. I don't know what that feels like. Maybe this is what it's like. I don't know.
Yeah, right. There's been a lot of pollen, that's for sure. Some of those pots we've been picking up from behind the greenhouse are just like a rim of yellow and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, I guess. There certainly are a lot of big leaf maples with tremendously long racemes of flowers dumping all of their reproductive dust all over the place. Do you realize that we're basically inhaling tree sperm?
Oh yeah, the
You know what that is?
gametes.
Yeah, that's right.
All
That's
right.
right. It's a big bukkake fest. That's exactly what's happening here. All of the big leaf maples unloading their digestive dust. And we're just sitting here as these small little beings breathing it all in.
Covered.
Covered in it. Covered in it. My truck was yellow yesterday.
I believe
When
it.
I was driving down the highway, I looked in my rearview mirror and it looked like smoke was coming off of my vehicle.
Maybe that's why it's so hazy. It's
Yeah,
hard
it could-
to see all the mountains.
That actually is a thing.
Yeah.
That
right?
actually is the thing, that there can be so much pollen in the atmosphere that it will literally make it look like it's smoky.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a lot of pollen in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. That's facts.
Pollen,
Grasses.
mold spores.
Mold spores for sure.
Yeah, a lot of mold spores.
Excited to be past getting out of that phase for
Ooh.
a little bit at least.
Yeah, everybody thinks the flu in the fall is flu. It's freaking mold. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I read that on Instagram. That means it's fact.
Yeah, for sure. Always.
Yeah, yeah. That news
Yeah.
source. That news source is undeniable.
Yeah.
It's dependably accurate.
Always.
Now, whenever I read an actual scholarly article and somebody's like, "Where'd you hear that on Instagram?" I just feel so insulted by that. Like, no, that's not my news source. That's not my educational content.
Right.
For modern pop culture, absolutely. Absolutely it
Right.
is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe get inspired to then do more research if you find something. But even then, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to find other places to get your information.
Got to. You have to. Absolutely.
dig deeper.
Yeah, I mean, were there any mistakes do you think we've made this year that we during repotting that we're kind of just like, oh well, that was a first, we just didn't know that, anything that sticks out to you guys? Or
I've been growing a lot for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
chopsticking, the number of tie-down wires I've broken and now know how to fix is not zero. I'll say it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, you have taken some tie down wires out. Were you disenchanted with our conversation about Instagram? Is that why you changed the subject?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what's happening. I see what's happening here.
I just I don't know how we kind of touched on timing challenges this year and specifics and stuff, and I just didn't know if there was something that you guys were thinking.
I feel like we're
any
gonna
close calls,
we're,
maybe?
we're gonna see. Sure, we're gonna see the mistakes, so we're gonna know that in a few months' time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that I could say, and it's a real bummer because I feel like we were on it. I feel like we were on the ball. Come January, it was like repotting season was there, and it was go time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just pushing harder earlier, maybe it was a little too lax in the beginning to be this crunched at the end. But I also think the momentum of repotting season built up as we started to see consistencies of organic accumulation or certain root related situations or certain akadama behaviors. And suddenly the list started growing
Right.
of needed repots.
Yeah.
And that is something that, what can you say? We were learning. I was learning. I mean, we've been doing apical experiments for 5 years. There's other nutritional components that we're using and sampling and starting to understand the pros and cons of.
Mm-hmm.
There are repotting techniques. I think the biggest thing that we did this year that Mirai's never done is put trees in larger pots than we typically do.
Yeah.
And you said it about the Scots pine, but I also think about the larch and the Thor Holvilla pot.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It was radical transformation out of a very small pot. I look at the Telperian pine, when we put it into that Ron Lang, we didn't really have to chopstick because there was so much room. That is abnormal at Mirai. That is an abnormal occurrence at Mirai. And people, it's been interesting to hear students because they're like, well, it could go in a smaller pot. And it's like, yes, it could, but should it? Should it? I've done that. I know what that does. I don't know if it's a change in my aesthetics, if it's an observation of horticulture, if it's a time in the trees development, because there's so many more trees so much farther along now. But I do feel like whenever we do a piece of Yamadori inevitably coming out of a box goes into a small pot. And has to, and fits in that small pot, and also looks good in that small pot. What I don't think that I factored was when the canopy of a Yamadori matures over a decade or more, and you get to that really high level foliar expression of all the work you've done over a decade, the container, it's obvious the scale and proportion is going to change. I understand that. That's not revolutionary. It's just interesting what I've come to, and I'm still assessing this for myself, what I've come to deem as aesthetically attractive. Is it a change in my aesthetic preference, or is it the evolution of the tree, or most likely it's probably a little bit of both. But it has been interesting this year for me to observe my own changes. But I think it's also very easy to see that the garden is undeniably getting better. Undeniably getting better. There's a higher level of repotting, just seeing the repottings and revamping the repottings that we've done recently. Some of the trees we've been repotting 2 or 3 years ago were repotted, and we're revamping them again for one reason or another, change of container, change of style, soil breakdown, whatever it is. And it's just like, oh, I've gotten better at this. Nice. And that feels really good. But I was thinking about it the other day. If you think about the number of trees that we repot in a given day during the repotting season, and let's just go ahead and cap it at 4 months, which is 1/3 of the year. If I'm repotting, let's just say 6 trees in a day, 5 of the 7 days of the week over 4 months. Okay, so that's 20, that's 80 days times 6 is 480. Let's just say 480 repots. 300-400 repots a year, pretty normal. How many times do you think that you water in a year in the Pacific Northwest?
Oh man,
almost 1,000.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so, because how many times we just started watering literally a week or 2 ago,
and we're watering a minimum of twice a day.
We got to check twice a day. So like we'll give you that. So from, let's just say April as a common beginning, April, May, June, July, August, September. Rains come in October, and you're saying twice a day over 6 months. Yeah, so I guess that it,
close.
No,
it's close, just shy.
Okay, so that's 30 is 180 is 360. There's a chance that we repot more than we water in the Pacific Northwest at Mirai.
Wow.
With this quantity of tree. I started thinking about that, and it kind of blew my brain because I was like, what do I do the most of? And you would assume that you water the most. But we repot so many trees here that I actually think with living in a temperate rainforest that we repot more than we water in a given year. Application of technique.
Right.
That we repot more than we water. And it's probably close, and there's probably differences on an annual basis. But to think about that, if repotting is the technique that we practice most, that's really mind-blowing to me.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's just a number if you count hours, because, I mean, that's like the 6 trees is going to take all 8 hours. Watering is going to be an hour each time. Hour and a half each time.
Yeah, so for sure. Time spent doing bonsai, repotting is by far the single thing we do the most by long shot.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest things, like one of the biggest like rewards I've been feeling.
Get that mic up to your mouth, dog.
Yeah, one of the biggest rewards I've felt like lately is just seeing almost instantaneous transformation in health in some of the trees that were declining that we repotted.
That's been wild.
There has to be at least a dozen that are just on, the top of my list in my mind that I check and look at everything all the time, and like the color difference in the foliage.
They started
some
growing
of the pines
immediately
and some of the
after.
junipers, and just how they started growing, and it's mind blowing to me. I've never experienced that before anywhere else.
Yeah, Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that tiny little Kingsville boxwood of your personal collection
Yeah,
that
this
you had. That thing was
freaking
wild,
thing
dude.
was as bad as close to death as I've seen a tree. That then suddenly is just like,
Straight
thank you.
orange to green.
I felt like it was an Egyptian pharaoh coming out of the tomb. Just
Orange to green in 30 days, straight up. Got the
Yeah.
before and after photo. If anybody
We
wants to
should.
see
You
it.
know what would have been fun if we had thought about it because it was in the greenhouse? Is just to time lapse that a 60-day time lapse of the transition from yellow to red. Or I guess it was red to yellow to green or something. I don't know
Yeah,
what that
yeah.
was. The gradient was crazy.
It was.
It was like Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat of boxwoods. It even had spots at one moment.
It did. It did.
And now it's green.
It's
Yeah,
green.
It's a happy
It's
tree.
green. It's pretty cool.
I haven't seen that. I've never seen that happen, actually. I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, that's sweet. And then the improved Nibari and
Oof.
just the Nibari that we gained on so many trees this year. Like,
We lifted a lot of trees up.
yeah.
We lifted a lot of trees up in the pot. The amount of Nibari that we gained on Big Twister when we did the repot on Big Twister, that's been down in the pot simply because, and I will also say that was one of the more uncomfortable repots this year.
Of course.
But
Of course.
it's been down in the container because I just simply did not think that tree could support its own weight.
Yeah. the Nibari we gained on the Kenoshita.
Oof, the Kenoshita was
for me,
strong to
was-
very strong.
It's just, I mean, these are the things I go home and
That's
think
got
about
2
or-
more years in that pot before that thing is all Nabari.
Yeah. This is the stuff I drive home and think about at night. So I don't know.
Right.
I get it. Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
get it. I'm into it. I'm trying to think of. I really enjoyed getting the Pieris from the behind the branch styled up because now that it's growing,
Yeah.
that is a very special. I don't care if there's tons of Pieris in yards across Portland. There aren't many Pieris like that.
right.
That
yeah.
spiral and rotate like that, that's an anomaly. That
Oh,
tree is
yeah.
an anomaly. The fact that tree is now here, and the fact that when we did the behind the branch, looking at where it started and where it is structurally after 18 months,
Right.
I was just thinking, why does nobody cultivate these?
Yeah, they're beautiful. They
Everybody's-
flower all the time.
Everybody's missing the boat. Yeah, they flower multiple times a year. It smells delicious. Apparently, if horses eat them, they experience an inebriation, which I haven't dove into that yet, but who knows? Maybe it's the next ayahuasca of the bonsai world. People start smoking Pierre's flowers or something. But it's like the gift that keeps on giving. The bark is super beautiful. It flakes. Their deadwood's awesome. They hollow out organically.
The back budding was insane.
Insane.
It's so full right now.
Insane.
I was shocked watching it explode
Yeah.
in the greenhouse this week.
Yeah. I got to give a shout out to Mr. Maple, too. Those boys delivered Mirai some dimes.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Not necessarily for bonsai, some grafted varietals that are going to go into our landscape, but that thing is so freaking orange out there. It's called Marmalade. If you guys want the orangest Japanese maple cultivar on planet Earth for spring growth, Marmalade from Mr. Maple does not disappoint. And they sent after Mr. Maple visited. If you guys haven't heard that podcast, go back and listen to it because they're fantastic guys. They came up here. We had a great time. They sent us a box of 4 Japanese maple varietals. I don't know if they are their favorites or just interesting ones or just things they wanted us to see and try. We've sat all winter with them in a leafless state, and now they are leafing out. And I am just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It does not take it does not take much to get me excited about plants. I got to be careful. I could get into a Japanese maple addiction. I see why Backcountry Dan is all about the Japanese maples now. I'm starting to get it slowly. It's been a slow creep, incremental creep. I'm starting to get it now. They're pretty cool.
Absolutely.
They're pretty cool. The boys from Mr. Maple are going to be out here this spring again. I can't wait to see them.
Nice.
We got to figure out something nice to send them though. Something very Mariah-ish.
Right. Indeed. Yeah.
What's your favorite repot, Brock? You've asked us that.
I think there's been definitely a number of super memorable ones. I've really just enjoyed in general, like using all the muck and learning about how to do that on these rocks
Yeah.
and stuff, and like revamping some of the old ones that we've already done, and like we were saying, the Nabari showing up on like the boxwood or the pygmy cypress forest, and like leaving the structural roots out of the muck, and
Uh-huh.
but like so that way they show through. But then single favorite, I would say. Um, Yeah, I'm really bad at favorites, as you can tell. And like every third tree we bring down, I'm like, this is one of my favorite trees. I'm excited.
It's
to
true.
repot this."
You do say that a lot. I agree. You got a lot of actually, I think you said that to him the other day. Wow, Brock, you have a lot of favorites.
Yeah, that's never been a strong suit of mine. Just picking my absolute favorite. But that subalpine that went on the rock, that's a
Ooh,
big
yeah.
swooping
Yeah.
branch.
What's
was
that
pretty-
dude's name in Washington that collected that?
Jason? I don't know his last name on
Yeah,
Instagram.
shout
I
out
think
to
it's LJ Bonsai.
Yeah, shout out to LJ Bonsai on Instagram. That dude straight up hooked us up with the Hawthorne.
Yeah, the Hawthorne was
The
wild.
Hawthorne is saucy.
Yeah, big old clump that
I've
we
ne-
stood upright.
You
like
tell
that.
me anywhere on a global level, tell me anywhere on a global level that you have seen a Hawthorne like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Hawthorne like that.
Right?
That thing is crazy.
Yeah, indeed. That was sweet. And just hulking out still, like, even after we stood it upright and did a bunch of muck on the backside to make sure the roots made it into the pot and stuff. And it's just like,
That's got to be what, pushing 100 years?
Hawthorne doesn't thicken very quickly. That's an old ass tree.
That's what I was thinking.
That's an old.
I mean, if you
old tree.
measured, side to side on that, I don't know if you'd call it a burl or a clump or a stump or what, but I mean, you're
what
talking.
do you think that is? 12, 14 inch diameter
you're
on a Hawthorne?
Minimum 14 inches.
That thing is
minimum.
huge.
right.
Thank goodness Matthias and Nastia came through from me and Ramondi, because
Yeah.
between Horst, me and Ramondi,
Whoops.
Tiberio Gracco, and Sarah Rayner,
Yeah.
like, those four ceramicists saved our bacon this year.
I
Oh
mean,
my
they brought the big
gosh.
stuff.
They brought the big stuff, the high quality stuff.
And we don't have any of them left.
There's not. Oh, and now
Yeah,
Tokutake.
There you go.
Shout out to
That's
now. I mean, thank goodness. I did a couple greenhouse walkthroughs on Instagram, and I was just shouting out either the collector of the tree or the ceramicist as these different pieces were popping up. The cumulative community contribution to what is Mirai,
Yeah.
I realized in that post, I was like, wow, this is a product of all of these talented people.
Yeah.
And I think also, just to speak up for Mirai, it's a product of all these talented people, and it's also a product of a facility that's committed to supporting them
Right.
and utilizing what they're doing. And with the Talperian trees and the Tom Roberts load that we got,
Yeah, those are all bangers.
fantastic little black pines, red pines, junipers, deciduous varietals, driftwood bonsai.
Yeah.
It really has been maybe the most eclectic. And Backcountry Steve or Steve Varland and Backcountry Dan, obviously the Backcountry boys we've worked with for a long time. But you always got to tip your hat to the Godfather, Randy Knight.
Yeah, right.
He
of course.
he is the Godfather of the collected. Not because he started first. Dan Robinson, Nick Lins, those guys, Harold Sasaki, those guys have a leg up on Randy Knight. Nobody's done it like Mr. Knight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Radinsky's got some straight up power
Yeah, there's some
as
good
far
ones.
as collecting. That guy is an anomaly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been just thinking about some newer setups from last year that we kind of had that changed the game for repotting, and at first I couldn't think of anything that crossed my mind. I was like, oh, what's different this year? What's different? And last night when I was driving home, I was like, the soil sifting setup. Oh, you guys, that.
Oh, that's right.
For me, that just changed the game this year. I mean, I've done a lot of sifting this year. I think I sifted almost all the pumice and most of the cinder. Brock definitely got in there with some akadama, but
How about those fans though, huh?
the fans too. And that's funny that you said that, but just the whole sifting area setup that really changed repotting a lot for me this year. I don't know about how it affected you guys specifically, but gosh, it just made it so much more enjoyable, and everything, the workflow of the whole, setup was just like, oh, this is more efficient. This is better. This is working better. This is great, basically.
Absolutely. Much nicer to have it at that higher stance during the sifting process.
Yeah, I mean, when you're sifting, I don't know how many gallons those troughs are, but I think 500-gallon troughs full of cinder and pumice and akadama.
Yeah.
It's nice to be at the right height and a little more ergonomic.
Right.
I don't know if I'm using that word correctly, but
I think so.
I think it felt like a good execution.
Sweet. But yeah, that was pretty game changing. Anything else come to mind for you, Brock? Or
Yeah, well, I took a class last year, but I wasn't started during the repotting season, and so just in general, it's just been heaps of amazing information I've been learning and been growing. I feel like daily, just chopsticking, getting better, and memorizing the root systems is getting a little bit better and stuff. But just sheer volume and it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, you touched on the muck too. I think
been sweet.
Actually, now that I think about it, we just started using it at the end of last repotting season. I think middle of the last repotting season. We didn't have it in the beginning. I know that.
Well, Young asked for the Bonsai Learning Center muck, Young Cho, when she did the Kusamono class,
and that was May.
Yeah, we had some, and because she had told me about it to order it, so I had ordered it, and then we started using it, and we've been using the akadama and sphagnum wall.
Yep, exactly.
To this point, which between birds destroying it and the sphagnum being dissolved by apical nutrition, it was clear that we weren't going to be able to continue on that process. But returning to muck has been a game changer because it just allows you to shrink down the profile of rock plantings and contour and do some interesting things.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about it as well is that what the Bonsai Learning Center is distributing, and shout out to the Bonsai Learning Center, those guys have really taken their super muck product is like really good. I like to take it, even though they already mix it with akadama fines and sphagnum, I like to take it and then use it almost as if it hasn't been mixed as a 30% or a 1/3, and then I do my own long fibered sphagnum and akadama fines.
So it ends up being 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
1/3, 1/3 of what comes from them, which they already have some sphagnum and akadama in it, but it's not enough for what we want to do with bonsai. I know Young Cho uses it straight up, but that's been, having now experienced seeing the roots grow through it and behave like I would expect the roots to behave from Kato out of Japan. It's like, well, that takes the gloves off yet again.
Yeah.
Because we can do some really radical stuff with that. That sphagnum was harder, doable, and if we ever run out of muck again or we run out of sphagnum, like we're going to have to continue to retrofit these material sources and how we work with them. But yeah, that's been really fantastic, totally empowering.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, this is knowledge for you guys. I mean, this is power. I mean, the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I mean, with just sharing that. I mean, maybe we should do a video on it.
Yeah, we already have one, dog.
Yeah, we
have a video. We have a whole educational platform, Brandon. In case you haven't checked it out, it's called Mirai Live. There's an app now that'll tell you what to do and when to do it, short form content. And then you can go to Mirai Live and you can see the long form content. And there is a video called Muck Creation.
With the Keto from the Learning Center.
I mean, if it's the same thing as the Kato from Japan, then I break it down the same. It's literally, I never knew what Kato was somebody had told me, and I looked it up on the internet, that it was the burnt rice hulls after rice cultivation with a little bit of the rice paddy mud. That's definitely not what Kato is. Kato is essentially freshwater peat coming off the bottom of decomposing organic matter off the bottom of lake beds. And you get the rocks and you get the broken down twigs and sticks and shit out of it, and it is a fine paste that just acts like a glue to hold everything together. Long fibered sphagnum acts like the spider web that keeps it all intact. And the akadama, I'm not quite sure what it does, but I know without it, it doesn't work as well, and with too much, it certainly doesn't work as well. So maybe it's the angular, kind of like in concrete, the quality of the sand. Maybe the akadama is acting a little bit like that binding mechanism. I don't really know, but it is an undeniable recipe that I learned in my apprenticeship because Mr. Kimura made so many rock plantings that bringing it back to the United States, not that people didn't understand how to use muck, but I don't think really anybody broke it down. How do you make it? How do you massage it and manicure it? And then how do you functionally apply it? And if we were going to make a video, behind the branch on the forum QA today, somebody said, will you do a behind the branch on a detailed like first Yamadori repotting? And I was thinking, we didn't work out the kinks of behind the branch this year to be doing repotting as the focus, although we do have a docu-style repot that's coming up with Mr. Thomas Navarre. That is pretty fire.
Yeah, shout out to that dude.
Shout out to Thomas. He's brought some game to Mirai for sure.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorites. Is that Ponderosa rock planting we just redid in one of his.
Dude, and let me tell you that one. That tree's name is Hajime. Because Hajime is to begin, or like the first, right? Like when you begin something. And that was my first collected tree.
Oh wow!
So having it on the rock that I bought, which had a tree planted on it in the first month of my apprenticeship, and came to my apartment complex in a crate so large I could not get it inside the door, so I had to physically dismantle the box at 1 a.m. in an apartment complex outside of my apartment, which it wouldn't have been quiet inside, but I can tell you it was much louder outside. But I had to do it so that people could get out of the apartment complex because the delivery guy dropped it in the walkway in front of my door. Third story of the apartment complex. Like no shit, if there was a fire, people would have died. So I break this thing down with like, I think I had an X-Acto knife and maybe like a Sapporo like tall boy bottle and a few other things that I was like lightly tapping to like pull this thing apart at 1 a.m. to get the Abigawa stone. I just ripped the tree off of it. Just had the Abigawa stone, and I stored it for 6 years and moved it to 2 different apartments during my apprenticeship just to bring it home for that fucking tree.
Heck yeah. Well, it turned out sweet.
It's awesome. Yeah, that's the 3rd container because it broke actually that's the 4th container. Broke the first 2, put it into the non-bonish piece. It's never thrived in that. That Navarre Cortin piece is it's what that tree's always wanted.
Right.
It's what that tree's always wanted to be.
Yeah, it looks so good, and the chojibai in it's just popping.
That was a muck fest on that as well.
Yeah.
Super cool out.
But we pulled the muck off of it. Yeah, because that was muck. That was original Kato that put that tree on that rock. And then now, a decade later, more than a decade, but let's just say a decade later, pulling the old muck, the spent muck off of it and seeing all of those roots swollen and ramified and working through that rock.
Yeah.
I watched that happen 2 or 3 times with like old substantial rock plantings at Mr. Kimura's. And most people don't realize, like, I didn't try to do a root over rock. I'm not like trying to create that aesthetic, but you do have to come back and revamp the pathways for roots on a rock planting over the course of time. And if enough time has passed and that tree's grown strong enough, you're going to have some substantial roots left behind.
Right.
Case in point, pygmy cypress forest. Yeah. We got big woody roots running through that structure on that rock.
God, so sweet.
And now they're all framed up and they're on the surface so we can see that maturity. Dude, that started out as just a bunch of fine little roots, as pygmy cypress do. Literally no structural roots or minimal structural roots when they come out.
Yeah.
To having full on woody creeping roots like a forest floor moving through that composition. those kinds, when I said like the highlight has been the refined repots, it's just seeing all of that evolution, or let's just say lodgepole number one,
That was
the
wild.
Nabari on that thing
Oh,
is
yeah.
crazy. Soil system, not so good. That didn't look good. I hope everything goes well with that.
Yeah.
But the Nabari on that thing, from when I collected that out of a pumice bed back in college to where it's at now,
Wow.
unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Looks so good in that Ron Lang too.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
has some of that like OG Mirai vibes.
Yeah, it does have. Yeah, God, Ron Lang. If only you could make pots again, Mr. Ron. You and
Intent.
Sharon are missed. You're missed.
Just a couple here and
Missed
there.
in the community. Yeah, if you just want to hit up a couple large scale rectangles just for old time's sake. Now,
bored.
I tell you what though, now is on the up and up. That guy's
my
coming.
gosh.
He's coming like a freight train. He's making all kinds of stuff.
So much good stuff, and like the traditional stuff, modern stuff,
Yeah.
real funky. Like that one you brought back, that's kind of deep. That has all the
Yeah.
stuff. Where I think he made a April Fool's post with a couple eyeballs
the
put
eyeballs
on
on
it.
it.
That I love that. That vibe is just super fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious. And I also saw a couple of other potters like carried that on after you did that, which I
yeah.
thought was pretty funny.
Right,
pretty
absolutely.
I didn't realize that was April Fool's though. That's funny.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I mean, maybe that pot does still have eyes on it. I could be wrong.
I think he actually made some type of reference to like some Japanese
Meitsuke.
netsuke.
Meitsuke, yeah,
Yeah.
which literally means to stick on eye. Like mei is eye, and
And
tsuke
there-
is to like.
And there's
adhere.
some old like bonsai magazines or books or something that I think he posted where people were doing that way back when.
Yeah, so
cool.
maybe it's not April Fool's. I could be wrong, but it was funny. It
I don't
was
know.
a good day for it.
I feel like it was an April Fool's thing. I think you're right.
You got us now, either way.
Yeah. What do they say? If you're talking about it, you won. If they're talking about it, you won. Yeah. That's basically what's going on there. I think the other thing that's been cool for me this year, and I'm about ready to go again, obviously, but getting to repot old Mirai trees that have now migrated to clients and students' homes, and seeing their collections flourish, seeing the trees change and flourish under their different environments, the foliar characteristics of trees changing from Mirai. You know, I mean, this is a very unique environment here. It's a temperate rainforest. You send these trees to drier climates, you send these trees to lower elevations, higher elevations, arid, more humid, like everything changes.
Yeah.
And then seeing how the trees behave and respond in those environments is really educational for me.
I bet.
I still think that traveling is a critical aspect of being a bonsai professional, even though I want to be here more and need to be here more. The more that this place improves, it still is a totally valuable use of my time to be on the road and learning and gaining insight from working with students, clients, and people that I call friends on their collections, because there's just so much to know,
Right.
a limitless amount to know.
It's got to be super rewarding, too, to see how the trees have continued to develop and people who share your knowledge
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. Yeah, and also I'm learning so much from my students on a continuum.
Right.
But I think seeing how important bonsai is to people. There's a guy on the forum QA that just made his first post like 2 or 3 forum QAs ago, and he posted again today, and he's just like, "Man, bonsai has radically improved my mental health."
Hell yeah.
And I'm glad I found it. Thanks for Mirai for being there and whatnot. That really meant a lot to me.
Absolutely.
And does mean a lot to me, because I think for me, bonsai is a total salve. It's a band-aid on the boo-boos, the raspberries of life,
Right.
for sure. And being able to get lost in a tree and to be able to enjoy that work just sort of takes you out of that momentary pain or discomfort for a while. That's powerful. It's a powerful tool to be able to share.
Oh, yeah. Such an amazing art form that, like, I feel like art in general for a lot of artists is able to do that. But
Yeah.
what really separated it for me was like, the fact that it's another living being that's like requires that extra level of care and effort to really focus in and not screw it up. Where, like, for me at least, when I was painting or something. It's like, cool, yeah. I mean, I could set it aside and forget about it for a few hours or days or months. So maybe I'll come back, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
Just kind of noodling around with it. Or music's real cool, but it's just kind of like in that moment and try not to mess up while you're playing with other people. But like with this being like a full-on living thing, it's like, man, I try to hold it as if I'm taking care of a person or something.
Yep.
Just to,
Yep.
and it just really does make it a lot more engaging and helpful to the mind for me, at least.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're totally right.
Mm-hmm.
Big Cheetle says owning high quality bonsai is like having an animal, but more so like a dog. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I found that interesting.
I guess yeah.
You have to feed it multiple times a day. It always has to have water. You always either have it with you or, you're finding somebody else to care for it. There's just so many different things there where you've taken on this responsibility that's kind of a little bit even bigger than yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I feel like dogs can go do their own thing and fend for themselves a little bit.
A little
These
bit more.
trees
Yeah,
are,
right.
Yeah.
we've really kind of uprooted them and put them into a position where they're just like,
Physically
hello?
and
Hello?
position their
Is anybody out there? I'm thirsty.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I hope somebody looks at me sometime soon.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's why I have so many, so they can keep each other company. So that actually has nothing to do with anything I've ever thought about, but I totally I think
great.
I think that bonsai trees have become tremendous ambassadors for their brethren in the wild. I really do.
Absolutely.
And I hope that continues. That's kind of the goal as things continue to progress.
Yeah, use them to have conversations.
Yeah, to have
conservation,
have that contextual, create that spark, that fascination, that window, that nostalgia, whatever it is, that scent, that smell, that relationship to the environment, whatever it is. I really think it's a powerful thing. But the overwhelming thing I've experienced this repotting season is just a total dedication to the craft again this year.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's really been a dedication to the craft, and for whatever reason, as I've gotten older, that's felt more and more interesting to me. That dedicating to the process and the craft and each technique and stuff. It's almost like an itch that feels better and better to scratch. And I don't know if that's my OCD or what that is, but like when you get the drainage screens just right and the anchor wires just right and then the tree's root system just right and you put it in there and it sits just right and you tie it down, it's just right, and you chopstick and then it's all done just right, and then the tree just goes and it's like all of that energy for each of those steps being done just right, and the tree just goes. It's like you feel it too.
Right.
I see you liking that good vibe there, Mr. Spruce. Mr. Sprucey Goosey.
Yeah, it's definitely been great, and I've really appreciated that, your dedication to that, because like I've said, it's really helped me grow a lot this winter and spring to really be like making sure I'm trying to get it right and focus on how to improve and where my missteps are, so I can make those adjustments. It's been super great.
Yeah, it's key. I definitely yesterday and the day before, as the three of us were repotting, I've had these moments where I wanted, coming out of my apprenticeship, I wanted to create a facility where bonsai at the highest level was being pursued, but being pursued with a little bit wider peripheral vision of what aesthetically could be accomplished.
Yeah.
We've had to horticulturally expand. We've expanded on species, which means we've expanded on aesthetics and age representation and time and technique and all these things. But I've had two moments in the past 2 days where I've kind of looked at all three of us with our heads down working and just thought, man, this is cool. This is cool because there's not another place on planet Earth that this is happening at this level with these trees. And I always wanted to create that facility where I could give that to somebody, you know?
Yeah.
Because I had to go to Japan and study with Mr. Kimura for that. And I value that experience immensely. But that was not the end. That was the beginning.
Right.
And I always wanted to be able to create a similar intensity, maybe a different teaching style, but a similar intensity with that pursuit of excellence. And I've felt that vibe, which has been really nice. And I think it's also a testament to you and Brandon. You know, I mean, I think you guys came here to become something special. And I've told you that my ambitions of you guys are to be bonsai ninjas. Like, you know, when you guys move off into the professional world to do whatever you're going to do, I would hope that when you enter the room to pursue a scope of work, that people are like, oh, let's pay attention. This could be interesting. We're going to learn something. We're going to see something here. You know, we're going to see people that are at a high level. That's the goal, for sure. But with that, I think we should get back to repotting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Let's do it.
Great. Let's
Heck
go.
yeah.
I'll meet you guys down there.
Sounds
All right.
All right.